competitive strategy has to be unique to you, of course. And that means you're pioneering. You're setting out into the unknown with no roadmap to follow. No one can tell you how to do it. And you have to forge your own path, create your own future. Sometimes that can seem impossible, and when it starts to get a little bit too hard, it can be quite tempting to abandon your plans. Well, today I'd like to share with you a personal story of an aspirational goal that I set for myself that at first seemed completely impossible. By the time she reaches the end of the fourth line, the whole place erupts. Everyone's cheering wildly and the roof just about lifts off because she's singing in their language and they are loving it. And at this moment I sat up on the couch and I said, I want what she's having. I had this vision of myself in Diana's place, singing at a concert in Rio. I wanted my own concert in Rio de Janeiro. And then I did a reality check. I'd never been to Brazil. I didn't know anybody there, and I didn't speak the language. That's a stupid idea. That is just crazy. And in the next moment, I dismissed it. He leaned across the table to me and he said, I must inform you of the risks of this operation. The main ones, the three big ones: heart attack, stroke, and death. Does that mean that I can go back to work? Yes, you can go back to work, that's fine. Can I start lifting weights in the gym? Yes, that sternum's mended now. Doctor, is there anything I can't do? No, there's nothing you can't do. He was ready for the next patient, and that was my cue to leave his office. But as I left the clinic, I decided to take him literally. There is nothing I cannot do. I still had no idea, but I had one additional resource, and that was resolve. Suddenly I was committed to the goal. And that made all the difference, because as I progressed in my goal, all kinds of coincidences occurred that helped me move closer towards it. And it's quite interesting how commitment has that effect, because you're more attuned to the opportunities around you. Do you know? Isn't it interesting how sometimes it takes a crisis to propel us into action? You know, what are we waiting for? Suddenly when we have no choice, that's when we take the action. I decided to apply some creative thinking to this challenge. I thought about options. I had found a school in Adelaide, 5 minutes from my home, that was teaching Brazilian Portuguese. One of these coincidences. Now I found people to help me with the language, the music, the rhythm, just simply because I was attuned to the opportunities. You know, those people who say one thing and mean another. Clearly I wasn't good enough. And for a little while I grappled with that self-doubt until I decided I would banish it. You know, I'm good enough, I'm not the best, but I'm good enough. And I will find another venue for us to perform. So I went back onto the computer and did some more research. In English, Bottles Alley, in Copacabana, in the heart of Rio de Janeiro. And in the 1960s, this was the top place for bossa nova artists to perform. Astrid Gilberto, Sergio Mendes, Antonio Carlos Jobim. I had never dared to think that this would be the place that would book us to play. How my heart is singing. I see Rio de Janeiro. My longing, lonely days are ending. Rio, my love, there by the sea. Rio, my love, waiting for me. See the cable cars that sway above the Bay of Guanabara. Tiny sailboats down below dance the samba as they go. Shining Rio, here you lie. City of sand and sea and sky, mountains of green rising so high. 4 minutes more, we'll be there at the airport of Galeão, Rio de Janeiro. There were tears streaming down my face, and I could barely sing, but the musicians played on. Statue of the Saviour, with open arms above the yellow seashore. Sugarloaf in majesty rising from the silver sea. Dark-eyed boys who smile at me, tick. City of love and mysteries, fasten seat belts, no smoking please. Now we're descending and everything's rushing, and now the wheels touch the ground. We played a 2-hour show at Bottles Alley. I sang on the same stage as my music idols. You know, too late might not necessarily mean dead. Too late could mean a missed opportunity or your competitor finding success with your brilliant idea. You know, if you have an inspiring vision, then commit to it and do something every day to make it happen. And are you aiming high enough? Do you pay attention to those glimpses that you sometimes get of where your business could be headed or what it could become?